Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Over Coffee, our morning talk show on the Long Island Tabletop Streaming Network. Yeah, I can say it right. Where we talk about games or just about anything else you want to chat about. My name is Game Master Dave, and I'm here with my co-hosts Rich, John, and Doug. Hey, listen to us while you're getting ready for work, or chat with us in a chat room. Send us ideas or feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit that follow button, especially if this is the first time you're joining us, so you can get all the great notifications of all our other shows on the Long Island Tabletop. So what have you guys, well, we had a meeting last night ourselves, and I learned some social media stuff, and I've been playing some Arden 44 and some Dominions 5. What have you guys been up to gaming-wise?
Dominions.
Dominions 5, yeah.
Nobody likes it. I've been playing
Nope.
Project Zomboid.
Oh, yeah, you talked about this a couple times. I actually looked at the website. So,
Yeah, I've been. Apparently, there's a huge upgrade coming, and there had been no word. But then all of a sudden, now there's a word on the blog that they're meeting to review it this week to see when it'll
okay.
go out. But we've been playing on a server, and and it's fun not being a speed player just to beat the game
Hmm.
because it's uh it's a little frantic sometimes when you go to run into a house and all of a sudden all is like a zombie horde finds you and rushes in the house after you and you have to get out before they bite you and you become infected.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun. It's a it's like it's basically a base building but real time. You have to survive the zombie apocalypse, loot the houses so you can gather your food, build a fort, a base, and survive.
Well, there you go.
And it's not
John,
easy.
Doug, have you guys been playing anything? Doug's painting, right?
Actually, I'm building some terrain now. So I decided that I want to I came up with like a system that I kind of want to build into for like cyberpunk slash industrial futuristic, grim dark future kind of thing. So I'm just trying to make like little pieces of like tech and randomness for the battlefield and the interior of the buildings right now. So I'm trying to make like some what you call it, um, like displays and stuff like that. So if someone goes into the room, it's like a kind of display where they would hit it like a computer kind of a thing, right? So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Trying to come up with different variations, easy way to build one, so that I can put like out a little tutorial video for them, so
Oh,
that
that's cool.
people, yeah, I think it would be pretty cool for, I think it'd be pretty cool for people to actually start using like cooler, different, cooler terrain pieces inside their games and stuff like that.
That's neat. John, have you been playing anything?
I've been like kind of casually jumping into things here and there. Like, there's nothing really new that I've gotten into. I've been meaning to actually jump back into jumping back into some of the PlayStation 4s that PlayStation 4 games that I picked up for my birthday last year. But the thing of it is that like my current living room setup isn't exactly the best right now. So like I've just been too lazy to kind of like reorganize things. So it's like there's things I'd like to play, but I keep meaning to like, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and then just not doing it." But I have been playing like Splunky 2 on the
What is it?
PC. I've still Splunky 2.
Huh.
It's like a side-scrolling roguelike. You basically start at the top of a map and you try to work your way all the way down to the bottom. There's hazards and pitfalls. It's kind of like a little bit like Pitfall. It is super hard in like a somewhat enjoyable way. Like the best way to describe it is that the game itself has, it's pretty well controlled. Like, its controls pretty good. Everything with the game is real solid. It's just hard. It is super crazy hard, and sometimes in ways that aren't exactly fair. But that's kind of the point of the game. Although sometimes it can still infuriate you when you're having a run and then something happens that's slightly outside of your control and it screws everything up.
Oh, okay. I also just remembered that I've got a game coming up on Saturday night. No Retreat, the North Africa campaign. I'm playing with Anthony. The rule book is only, I think, 40 pages long, with very, very small writing. Yep. Super excited about this. I'm in the process of reading that. So there you go.
So what is it, like World War II?
Yeah, World War II. Yeah, we're doing the North Africa campaign.
Doug actually reminded me of something I wanted to play the other day, like something kind of popped in my head, and I haven't been able to because of COVID, just because of the way things are. I wanted to get back into playing Gaslands again.
Oh,
So maybe play
Gaslands.
tabletop again. Yeah, not Gaslands. But the problem is, like, with COVID, you really can't go out unless unless you absolutely have to or whatever. Some with precautions, I don't feel safe, especially with the numbers still kind of spiking. I mean, I've heard stories that the numbers are going down, but even still, vaccinations are taking a lot longer than anticipated. People are having to go back to work, so it's like, exposure is greater than ever.
Well, we got a new administration coming in here in the United States
Today.
today. Maybe things will change. I guess we'll find out. Maybe
provided nothing crazy happens.
Yeah, provided nothing crazy happens. Yes, I put the Gaslands link and the Project Zomboid link in the chat.
What did
for
you
those
say,
that are
Dave?
interested. I said today we have an inauguration, and so
barring no, he said barring if something crazy happens.
That's what John said. Yeah.
No. I thought you connected the inauguration to things changing with COVID.
No Eurasian?
No, I thought you were put with
administration.
The inauguration.
Oh yes, so there is. I'm saying there is a new administration.
I know, but I thought what you said was we have a new inauguration, so things will change with COVID. Those are not related.
No.
We have to make sure that we understand that those are not related.
No, that's not exactly. If I said something, that's not exactly.
Because John was talking about not being able to get together, and you're like, well, hopefully things are changed. I mean, we have a new inauguration today, and
right.
provided
hopefully,
nothing bad happened.
None
of those things are together. I hate that fallacy when you watch a TV commercial and they say, "Look at this, if you buy this," and it's like, but they don't make sense together.
Right. I was not clarifying enough.
All right. All right.
All I was trying to say, because John was saying that the availability of the vaccine is not so much right now. So
no,
hopefully.
it never. Right, but it was never. I don't know why anybody thinks that it was, because it was never. It was supposed to go to frontline workers, and then it was going to trickle down from there. With availability in I guess lower income neighborhoods and things like that, or wherever the concentration of what COVID was higher, and there was always supposed to be that type of plan. I don't know why everybody's surprised when they actually execute to a plan, but that's what the plan was. At least that's what I heard of.
No, that was certainly the plan.
Right. And even my company sent out notices because we're an essential business, and even they said they're going to keep us informed and everything goes, but by all means our drivers will be first because they have to be, and it makes no sense for them not to be.
They have the most exposure.
Absolutely, and they are really the ones that put themselves at the most risk anyway.
Right.
So, I will be patient. I will be patient.
Well, there you go. All right. So before I gotta run, I'm just gonna cover some quick news unless somebody else has something. Go ahead, John, or go ahead, Doug.
Nope, we're good.
Cool. News.
All right, from Tabletop Gaming News, the sci-fi noir series Altered Carbon. I think I saw the first season. What platform is that on? I forgot.
It's on
Netflix. Yeah, and it's gone now. Two seasons and forever gone.
Yeah.
Oh, it got canceled?
Yeah.
Oh, well, now they're coming out with the role-playing game for it by Renegade Game Studios.
I showed you the book last week.
Oh,
because I backed the Kickstarter.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So
great.
now they're official. It's okay. It's good. I got the cards and I got the
Oh,
book.
you want to know something? This information is from last week because I had it ready. I think for Friday, which we never got to, and then Monday we didn't have a show.
Yeah, the whole thing was they were going to announce after the fact. But you know what? The book series is still awesome. You don't need the Netflix series to enjoy Altered Carbon. You know, it was more, you know, the series was based off the book. There's obviously changes in it, but the same technology and same environment is the same. So
Right. So obviously, then since you backed the Kickstarter, you enjoyed it.
I do enjoy Altered Carbon. Um, I have to read the rules now. It's a very thick book, beautifully made. It was
Right.
worth the money. It was worth the backing.
That's what she said.
Yep.
I put a link in the for the Wikipedia for Altered
Doesn't
Carbon.
make any
For those that
sense.
might be interested. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
That makes no
Anyway,
sense.
next up from Board Game Geek News, in Umbria Via, players. It's such a strange name, Umbra Via. You know, I'm very curious sometimes about the names of games that designers give their things, because you know the name sometimes can be a make or break. But regardless, in Umbra Via, players compete to control and complete the most cunning path. Reach into your bag to select wooden flowers, then place them on your secret board in order of the paths you want most. But the players reveal their choices. Things get delightfully tricky. This is a way you design your own garden with these neat little flower tokens. I thought it was really curious. That is from Board Game Geek News, actually. I might have said Dice Tower News, Board Game Geek News. So check that out. Also from Dicebreaker.com. This is the first time we've used them, and the reason why I chose them is because we talk a lot about role-playing games on here. Not so much about miniature games, not so much about trading card games. We try to get some board games on the show. And from Dicebreaker.com, it had the board game releases that are most expected or most anticipated for 2021 for this year.
So what was the name of the game? UMBRIA?
Umbra Via.
Oh, Umbra.
I'll put it in the yeah. It's in the chat. So anyway, board game releases for 2021. Frosthaven. After the most successful Kickstarter campaign ever seen, there's good reason to be excited about the sequel to Gloomhaven. I have only played half an initial campaign game of Gloomhaven.
I own Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Never played it. Backed Frosthaven.
You backed Frosthaven? Oh, well, there you go. Quest. It's number 2 on here is Quest, a spiritual successor to the Resistance Avalon, which I have not played yet either, but also is highly rated. Descent Legends of the Dark. This is sequel to Journeys in the Dark, and I haven't played Descent either. Descent supposedly is incredibly awesome.
Descent second edition was pretty good.
Yeah.
The minis are off scale a little bit, but you know, it is what it is.
Okay. Burn Cycle. This is a co-op game about becoming a team of robots infiltrating a headquarters of humanity. This is from the people that made Too Many Bones. Oh, I know the people that made Too Many Bones. Oh, I wanted to say something about, I forgot, what were we talking about? We were talking about Gaslands. So close friends of me and Ginger, Anna and Steve, their cousin made Gaslands. So we actually, my friend Steve and I played Gaslands, I think with their cousin at DexCon, one of the DexCons. Next up is Oath, Chronicles of Empire and Exile. Never heard of it. Next one is Lizard Wizard. Become scaly magicians in the sequel to Raccoon Tycoon that features spell creation and dungeon raiding. Next one is Critical Role Adventures.
Oh god.
There you go. Critical Role came out with a board game.
No.
Darkest Dungeon, Soul Raiders, and Hero Quest. Hero Quest obviously was around.
Wait,
long
Darkest
ago.
Dungeon?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made what is it? Mythic Entertainment made Darkest Dungeon, I believe.
I don't have it in this article, but it says based on indie video game about the perils of exploring dangerous ruins.
Yeah.
Darkest Dungeon is a very popular indie,
very popular, impossible dungeon where you die.
Yeah, so the game has like little chibis and like 8-bit miniatures in it, and I did not back it.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I mean, like it completely went against the art.
That's it for the news. That's it for the news.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, newscaster Dave.
You're
So
welcome.
so a year ago, Fox's Fox's rumor mill talked about a potential reboot to Firefly,
Ooh.
Yeah.
and there were some discussions about it. Wanting obviously fans want the original cast and this, that, and the other thing. About a month ago, there was an article that the Firefly fans are furious about a rumored Disney Plus reboot,
Yep.
and
I read that one.
and they're saying that and they posted all the tweets about it. It says no Firefly fan wants a lame PG reboot. We want a second season with the original cast and Whedon directing. All right, so that's a little bit kind of over the top.
It's a big ass. Like Whedon is like super popular now.
Right? Like,
Well, it's not even that. Well, I mean, actually, I don't know, because other than, let's say, the last thing I know of that was that was of notoriety that Josh Whedon did was when he was brought on to basically redo Justice League.
Okay, so like, do me a favor.
That.
But like, realistically, think about that from scope. Think about that in scope.
It's still a big.
He was no, John. He was asked to come onto that. Like there's a difference between bringing back a cult show that people love and want, and then like being asked to do something for a comic, franchise that is of a larger magnitude. Like I think he's graduated. He's graduated.
So even let's say if we take Josh Whedon out of the picture, let's say he does come back on board. All the original cast, it's been like 10 years. Like, I'm not saying that they're not all good actors and they probably couldn't pull it in, but it would probably be like at that point, there's no way they could bring the same amount of energy to it. It'd have to be a.
Listen, Nathan Fillion is amazing.
So
I'm not saying anything negative against Nathan Fillion. At some point, I'm agreeing with you that the idea of saying, "Oh, it's got to be continuation. You got to get everybody back." It's like, look at Harrison Ford in Star Wars. He clearly didn't really want to be there, and there's no way he was going to be able to be the character people wanted him to be. So it's like, do you just want to see the people you're familiar with? Is it just like,
okay, John, calm down, take a breath, and there's a couple of things, right? So we've heard from some of the casts, and we'll have to go find some of those articles, but the difference is to your point, Harrison Ford didn't want to be there. These players wanted to continue Firefly.
Yeah.
They had no choice. They were fired. The show was canceled, right? They were cast out.
That was like 10 years ago.
No, it was so. First of all, wait, John. Let other people get worded. It's 17 years ago. It was 2003.
Thank you for adding on to my point even more. Okay.
No, but it's not the fact that it survived this long. The fact that the rumors survived this long and everything like that. But to your point, take Joss Whedon out of it. There are plenty of underrated writers, directors that, especially at Disney, that could make something. I mean, look what they did with The Mandalorian, right? Joss Whedon wasn't The Mandalorian. They could
Jon Favreau.
They could pull from their own collection to be the director. I'm not worried about that. There are a couple of fundamental things. Yes, you could get the original cast, but you could easily introduce some other cast members. It's not even, it's without question. Don't forget, Alan Tudyk, his character died. He's dead. So did the preacher. He's dead. So you have an opening for 2 cast members right there.
Yeah, but who wants other cast members? We want Alan and the preacher. I'm just kidding. I'm being an asshole.
But so you have options to make it newer and fresher, right? The crew, if you do go back into a series, there's no saying that the crew has to stay the same crew forever. The captain may stay the same, and some of the other people, but they need a new pilot. The pilot's dead, and then the preacher, who wound up not doing as much as they wanted to do with him, because they kind of just kept him as a preacher, but he had a long background, and he was a lot more. There was a lot more left to be open about him. So anyway, the point being is that the one thing I agree with is I don't think anybody wants to see a PG reboot. Somebody says is that there's so well they're thinking about not using the original cast to give a season 2. I think
fair.
that'll make it. I think that'll make it a very, very tough sell, in my opinion.
Can I make what might be a controversial opinion?
As per usual, John.
But hold on. The last thing I will say is the one thing I do agree with some of the fans is they were saying that they don't want a PG reboot. They'd prefer a PG-13, and I agree because I think some of the violence kind of made the show without pushing it over the top.
Well,
right?
not only that, but like if you look from just from a Serenity standpoint from the movie, like we've graduated. We shouldn't go back. Like,
Right.
you should push forward. But that similar to if they do it like similar to the Mandalorian, they have extreme options. Mandalorian is definitely more of a PG-13 variant of Star Wars.
Correct.
And it's like maybe not rated R, but in some aspects it is.
Right.
There are some aspects that definitely breach that.
But the Mandalorian also brings up another point. So Zinar pointed out that Ron Glass passed away in 2016, but Ron Glass also died, because if you're going to continue Firefly, you have to pick it up from Serenity, the movie, right? The movie is canon and it's after the fact. So Ron Glass's character died, and that's also where Alan Tudyk's character died. So anyway, but the other point is, and I know John wants to give us a controversial opinion, so we'll wait till he's done flossing to get that. So right, 4 Star Wars movies are rated PG-13, and that was where I was going with The Mandalorian. So The Mandalorian is proof that Disney has no problem. Because one of the things that somebody said is that the cast, the crew of Firefly, the crew of Serenity, which is the name of the ship.
Sheesh, come on, bro.
Was they weren't exactly good guys. They just happened to be the good guys in a world that people were worse.
So there's also in the rumor mill that I believe Ryan Reynolds signed on to Deadpool that is supposed to be rated R with Disney. So that if that's a true rumor, if that's something that's actually going to be a thing, there is no reason as to why we can't have a more mature audience for Firefly be happy, like PG-13 breaching rated R. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
That also introduces the possibility for a parental control on Disney Plus, giving us more mature content, breaching a larger audience gap as well. Because like there are definitely a lot of people who are like, well, you know what? I'm more of a Star Trek person, and Marvel really doesn't, really do it for me that much. So maybe some days, maybe I don't want Disney Plus, and then all of a sudden we have this mature content jump on Disney Plus. Now you have a much larger audience. So maybe that's a thing.
Yes, yeah, and you know what? As Zinar keeps pointing out, there's a lot of content that's PG-13 on Disney. So yeah. I think people that are jumping out saying they're going to hate this, they're going to hate that, maybe they need to back off. I mean, to be honest with you, if the original cast isn't being used at all or in some way to transition from an old to a new, then I think you have a problem. And then you might as well just don't use the name Firefly. Yeah. A year ago, what I think it was funny. I'm just gonna point this out. A year ago, when Fox president was questioned on this, they said their answer, and I'm gonna read it because the end part of this is what makes this funny and shows the ridiculousness of thinking of network presidents. So the macro answer is, and this is from the president, Michael Thorne. The macro answer is, anytime we look at one of our classic titles, if there's a way to reinvent it for today so it's as resonant now as the original was and is to the fans, we're wide open. I loved Firefly personally, and I watched every episode. Yeah. I didn't work on it, but I love the show. Here it is. It had come up before, but we had the Orville on the air, and it didn't make sense for us as a broadcast network to have who is very targeted to have 2 space franchises. So the Orville's a space franchise now.
It is.
It was a comedy.
I mean,
It is a space, but it's still a space franchise.
Yeah, I get that, right? But you know, to say that you can't have 2 of these shows is kind of like saying you can't have 2 cartoons.
But the Orville is an hour slot. It's an hour slot. So like I can actually see it from that standpoint, but they should just sell the rights, and then
but it's like saying you can't have 2 cartoon comedies.
I mean, you can't. Cartoon Network is not a thing.
No, I'm talking about Fox.
I was just kidding. It was
Right,
true.
but Fox has an entire night of animation, and they actually rolled it into an entire brand.
Fair
and
enough.
not only that, a lot
Animation
of times
domination.
when you do, like,
Why can't their marketing group turn around and go, listen, there's a lot of people. The reason why Star Trek becomes so popular every time it's aired
oh, geez.
is because it's got a fan base. People like that stuff. So to turn around and say we already had one, so we couldn't have 2, is kind of a bullshit answer. Excuse my language.
But
I'm sorry.
it's also to kind of say that, like, oh, you know, we don't even necessarily think of like the show on its own individual merits. We only think about what it looks like. It's like, oh, this thing has a spaceship in it, then we can't ever have anything else simultaneously that's got a spaceship. Never mind the fact that it could be a completely different show, completely different tone.
Right.
Well, you gotta also you just gotta look at it from their standpoint, because like they're paying for something and they need to keep it on the air.
Okay, so yes, let's look at it from their standpoint. Fox is one of the most notorious networks out there that cancels shows for just because, you know what, they decided we don't like it. We don't care if it had a fan base. I mean, they canceled Family Guy.
I get that. It's
right? They canceled Family Guy, and then there was so much lashback from it. So are they real? So this is my version of Nintendo for John. You know what I mean? When a company cancels a Family Guy because they haven't really heard what the public is saying, then don't turn around and say, well, we have a rule. We can only have one type of show on at a time. Because it's not true, right? Because you break your own rules all the time. So, you know, you can turn around. So what are you saying? Simpsons isn't a comedy cartoon and this one is a comedy cartoon? And no, you continuously bring in cartoons and you have a whole 2-hour slot of cartoons. You could have a 2-hour slot of sci-fi space. And then work with it. Call it something. Market it. Brand it. Run with it. You know? And the designer says Fox can only have one sci-fi show that they can cancel at a time. This is true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it is. So don't tell me you can only have one of something. That's turning around like saying, it's like, oh my God, we could have 2 huge successes, but our rule is we can only have one. We're only allowed one.
Highlander rules, guys. Highlander rules.
Right, there could only be one sci-fi. So John, what was your controversial opinion? Sorry, I'm off my soapbox.
The thing I was gonna say is,
We like your soapbox.
The thing I was gonna say is that when people, oh no, sorry. The thing I was gonna say is that when people want something to come back or they want something to continue, what a lot of people, not all, but what a lot of people want is pretty much just vindication for their own fan fiction. Like, they want the show to come back exactly in the way that they would.
Right.
When it did come back, there's no way it's going to be, you know, like, unless it literally comes back, like, a year or 2 later. Like, you know, Family Guy came back, and that first season back was very much like the original season. And then over time, it eventually drifted and changed and things like that. And that's maybe not the best example, so let's talk about more serialized one. The longer something goes on for, or the longer period of time in between something being on air and coming back, there's no way to do the exact same thing. You could have the same tone, you could have the same, you know, even like some of the same staff, but like I said, those people are older. The energy they can bring is different.
So,
you know, like the overall cultural climate changes. So all I'm saying is that, like, I'm perfectly fine if they want to bring it back, fine. If they want to continue it, fine. But it's no way going to be the same show as if it came back, let's say, 2 years after it got canceled, or 3 years. And the further you get away from that, the more unlikely it is you're going to get something exactly resembling what people have made up in their head.
No, you're right. The only thing I disagree with you is I disagree that they could bring back that they can't bring back the same level of energy. I disagree with that highly, and the reason why is
the
because
exact same people. Like I'm saying,
Well,
like
no, with the same people.
Wait.
I mean, I disagree with you completely. That what you're saying then is that those actors don't actually have it in them, and,
Yeah,
and
they
I
do.
don't believe that in any way, shape, or form.
Nathan Fillion's in The Rookie. He's like doing action right now. What's the name? What's her face? Is the girl? What's her name? Shoot.
Summer Glau.
Yeah, like she's doing all kind. Like they're not old, John. They and let's put it this way, John. Keanu Reeves is like 54 years old. He's doing The Matrix 4 this year, and he's doing another John Wick.
So I just that's the only part of what John was talking about that I disagree with. Okay, we are at 7:00. That brings us over. So let's bring ourselves home. More than welcome to talk about this. Not on Friday, but next week or some when we have another update. This is one of our cycles because some of us are fans of Firefly and Serenity. We do want to see we do want to see it come back. I would like to see it come back. But anyway, so let's move on.
So I got my show tonight at 10 p.m. Board gaming show, 10 p.m. right here on the Long Island Tabletop Streaming Network.
Tune in.
Thank you. Upcoming this week, tomorrow night we have Watching Paint Dry with Doug. Friday we have basically D&D with John and myself. And I think that's it for the week, but we'll see you guys Friday morning. We'd like to thank you for joining us and continue to look for the network because we will be expanding our broadcasting capabilities as well as bringing in new shows.
Yeah.
So
and uplink February 20 and 21st.
That's right. Go check it out.
We say it every week. It's gonna be gold.
And with that, Dave?
With that, thank you so much for joining us, and good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Cheers.
It's not right. It's not right.
Morning.
Sense.